Everyone, hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable right here on Facebook at our main fan page here on Facebook. And let me see where I'm in the new studio. I don't know how to do this really smoothly yet, so you'll have to bear with me, okay? So this is Tuesday, July 9th. And I call Tuesdays here at Star Nation's Terrific Tuesday because we have so many live stream shows available on Tuesday. But today was really, really busy. So we didn't get everything done that we were meant to get done this morning. It's one of those days, right? I swear we can always blame it on Mercury retrograde, right? We can always do that. And so here, change something. I'm like I said, I'm in the new studio and we got some really cool things here. I'm going to show them to you in just a second. But before we do that, you might notice that I had to do the live stream just a little bit different. And to get it to go, to live stream through Be Live. And so if you wouldn't mind helping me, and that is to sprinkle, is that what we're calling it now? Sprinkle the live stream out, because it's coming up differently than what I had intended when I scheduled the broadcast earlier today. So in order for people to find me, we're going to need to let people know where we're at, okay? So if you wouldn't mind helping me sharing it out, I know I said that S word. That would really be helpful. And so I'm sending it over to my news feed right now. And I'm asking them to please join us in the live chat. And we're going to do that. There we go. And I have to plug my phone in. We're low on battery on the phone. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I don't know if Rob, here, wait, let me get rid of this. I'm going to bring this one up. Rob goes, yeah. And let me tell you, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute before showtime, I was kind of right there because the studio wasn't reacting the way that I thought it was going to. And so it's like, well, now what do you do, right? So you just kind of breathe through it. It's kind of like Lamaze breathing. and just do the best you can, right? All right, so I'm going to send it also over to our radio network closed group so that the peeps know that I'm live streaming. And to come out and play. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. Hopefully, cross the fingers. Okay. Well, the thing is that at least I'm live streaming through Be Live, and I can show your comments and that sort of thing. And it helps me to get, well, more acquainted with the studio, right? There's some things I still have to figure out, obviously, obviously. So I wanted to, I was actually kind of playing with it and poking around with the Be Live yesterday evening. And here's some of the things that I found. Now, I have to be able to try to figure out how to do this. We can do the overlays. I'll show you the overlays. This is what they call overlays. So we have these kind of cool kind of frames, right? And we have a couple of them. I'm not crazy about them. This one is my favorite, but here's another one. And, these are easier to use. We can create our own too. I just haven't made the time to figure out how to do that and then create it. Because I think we could probably create a really cool one for Star Nations, right? Yeah. Here's the last one. No, okay. You know, this is my favorite one, of course, with all the leaves. I wish it was flipped, though. I don't know if we can mirror that to flip it around. That would be kind of cool. But we're not going to use one. It's a little distracting, too, don't you think? And let's see if I can show you one other thing here that I think is really, really cool. We're going to bring up a picture. Bring up a picture. And I've got to find a good one here. Here's one. This has nothing to do with the show, unfortunately. But I wanted to show you something that is kind of cool. All right, we're going to give it a solo. And notice the background. I could change the background. So I added stars to the background. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. And so here's a couple other backgrounds that they have for us. That's kind of nice too. Right? That one's not so crazy. I'm not too crazy about that one. Here's another one. That's kind of nice. The sunset or a sunrise. You know how I feel about those. But I did upload this one. And that one certainly is my favorite. Yeah, that one's my favorite. This was a picture I took of George. I think it was on Sunday. I walked into the living room, and there he sat on the couch looking at my laptop screen. So I kind of made a joke about it, that he was on Facebook. It happened to be on Facebook, on a Facebook page, because I was working in there. And I was getting ready to start supper, and I walked in to check on him, and that's what I found. So I had Paul take a picture. Kind of nice, huh? But I do like to be able to show that in the background. I think that is very cool. But I'm sure we could come up with something pretty meaningful for Star Nations too, right? All right. So let's see who is in the chat. And okay. They flip things around in the chat too. The older ones are on top. Hey, look who's here. Mervyn Kelly's here. Yay. Hello, Mervyn. Good to have you here. And oh my gosh, Jean is here too. Hello, Jean. Oh my goodness, it's good to have you in the house. Good to have you in the house. Coolness abounds. Well, it's coolness, that's for sure. And I think this is Stephanie. She says, hey, Mervyn, loved your show. I caught your reply and left you some comments and questions. Oh, that is Stephanie. Good. I know. Mervyn, your show was something else this morning. It was a good one. I really enjoyed the conversation there. She also says, make sure to see the show. Yep. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm going to get better at this studio too at Be Live. It's a little bit of a learning curve. It's not so much learning how to present, via live stream or anything like that. It's all the controls in the studio and knowing how to use them. And so that's the learning curve. And things do look different here. They certainly do. All right. So the cards today, I have to tell you that it was a very busy morning, right? And I was trying to fit in the card draw in between Mervyn's show and Polly Joe's show, right? And And that should have given me plenty of time to get it done, plenty of time. But when you add a 100-year-old mom in there, and the housekeeper came and she was cleaning, and I had one phone call after another. In fact, I was on the phone and another call would come in, and it was like that all morning. And so when I finally got done with the last call, which was Polly Joe, and making this strong suggestion that we cancel her show for today so that she could deal with her family situation that's occurring, because it was splitting her energy, and she just really needed to focus on family today. And when I got done with that, I thought, oh my God, I haven't done the card draw yet. And so as I was sitting there, I have to say the telephone calls that I had were from people that I work with, right? They're clients or students or something like that. And so the energy in the air, the energy was really telling me a lot already about what was unfolding for today. And the first card that came certainly validated that. And here it is, because we haven't had this particular card yet. This is the first time that we've had Thunderbird. Thunderbird clan, right? And it's about eminent change, life force, and rebuilding. It's the 7th stone in the creation of the medicine wheel that the author, Linda Iwashina, uses. And look at this picture. It's like, holy cow. That's a lot of energy jumping off that card, don't you think? Yeah, we've got, it looks like a full moon, right? Is that a full moon? Yep, it's a full moon, and it's got the Thunderbird flying in the full moon. Thunderbird in the foreground within flames, because it's a fire energy, right? Yeah. A lot of strong energy on this card. And so it was validating to me because of what people were sharing with me, what was going on in their lives, and trying to help them through that, giving them at least an ear to listen, right? Somebody to hear their story. And so, yeah. Oh, thank you, Rob. Rob said he spritzed the show. Thank you. Hey, Julie Shumway Hill's here. You found us. Yay. Yay, Julie. Good to have you here. Kendra's here too. Hello, Kendra. Good to have you here. And Rob is saying, I was gifted a Thunderbird feather by Spirit during one of my last walks through Uriel's Corner. Ooh. That's big medicine there, buddy. That's big medicine. Yeah. So, of course, in spirit, as a soul, you are more than capable to carry the energy of Thunderbird, more than capable. And so it's preparing you in the physical world to be able to carry and hold that kind of wattage, that kind of strong medicine, right? And yeah, good one. I like it. I like it a lot. And it kind of helps to kind of, because I know that you were sharing about joining, the bards, not the bards, the druids. And so that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Thank you for sharing that, Rob. And Lisa says, aren't Thunderbirds powerful? Yes, they are so powerful, Lisa. So powerful. They are what's known as a supernatural being. And their presence is known across almost all of the indigenous people across Turtle Island. That's North America, okay? all the way across. Every nation has some way of connecting to that supernatural being. Big medicine, yes, most definitely. Hey, Lisa, good to have you here. Good to see you here. Oh, well, welcome. Welcome, Lisa. I'm glad you're here. We're in for a good conversation, I think, about the energy for the day. Robinson, I sent you a pic when that happened a few months ago. Okay. I'd have to go through my pictures. I, Robinson, I get all kinds of stuff from people. So I'll go through it, though. I will find it. You said it was a couple months ago? I can sort by your name, and I'm sure I'll be able to find it so I can take another look at it. Rob says, I changed my walks to hikes, trailing walking, and found some even more powerful areas. Wow. Good, good, good. You're off the pedestrian trails. Hey, Jen. Jen says, good morning from Australia. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here. I know it's probably early morning down there. So we have Mervyn, who's from England, and Jen from Australia, and then a whole bunch of us all the way across the United States, right? Not quite coast to coast. I don't see anybody from California in here, unless Lisa, you're from California. I don't know, but we're covering the ground today, covering Grandmother Earth. All right, so let's talk a bit about Thunderbird Clan. Okay, now for those that are new with us, I'll show you what we're using. Okay, this is the deck that we're using. It's called the Spirit of the Wheel Meditation Deck. It's by Linda Iwashina, and the illustrator is Jody Bergsma. And we've been using this deck for about a month and a half or so. We're really liking it. And so this is the deck that we're using. Those two ladies that have created this deck, they're from the Pacific Northwest. All right. They're from British Columbia. And so their expression that they're sharing about their knowledge about the wheel, the medicine wheel, is from their perspective, right? And so we're learning quite a bit about the indigenous people from that part of Turtle Island. All right, so here we go. Thunderbird Clan. And I take a big breath because my clan happens to be Thunder. So I know a bit about the Thunder Clan. And my native name, my spirit name, is Neshi Lokotz. And many people call me Neshi, which is I love, rather than calling me that. Although I go by that too. That's my birth name. And so Neshi Lokotz, it means bird woman. And in the elders, whenever I share my name with them, they kind of get this, oh, look, because I tell them that my clan is Thunder, and then I tell them, my name, and they put the two together, and this is what they come up with, Thunderbird. And so the Thunderbird is about imminent change, life force, and rebuilding. The author says that the Thunderbird clan card represents energy at the highest level. Like the thunder rumbling across the sky, the energy of Thunderbird makes its presence known. There is absolutely no mistaking the Thunderbird clan energy and what it feels like when they're with you. Do you know if there's a thunderstorm, right, and you have lightning, and when lightning strikes, you hear the thunder, right? All right. So when the lightning strikes and and the thunder, and it shakes the earth, it shakes your house, right? Those are Thunderbird. they shake everything. It's a very strong energy, very, very strong energy. And we feel it sometimes even without the storms on the outside, right? Sometimes we can feel it on the inside and it's a sunny day out. For instance, telephone calls that I've had in the past 3 days from people, or conversations with them. They're going through stressful times, okay? And they have to make a decision, choices. And if almost every one of them expressed to me that they were shaking on the inside. It's not that they were cold or anything like that, and it wasn't fear, okay? But they could feel the trembling, the shaking on the inside. Yeah, in some cultures they would call that Thunderbird energy, Thunderbird clan energy. It's that quaking, it's that shaking on the inside, because your mental mind, your conscious self, wants to go one way, and your soul or your heart wants to go the other. And so you're kind of caught in a dilemma, right? You feel very strongly about both, because logically, mentally, you think that this is the path to take, the choice to make, right? And whenever your mind goes in that direction is when you start shaking on the inside, because it's your soul who is saying, look at this path too. We need to consider this path too, right? And so it's that, I don't want to call it indecision, but in many ways it is, because you have to make a choice in whether you're going to follow your head or your heart. Okay. And when I got this card this morning, I thought, oh my gosh, and so many of those people are going through eminent change. They're feeling the life force, right? And a couple people are rebuilding their lives, or have the opportunity, I should say, to rebuild their lives. And so I don't know if any of you have ever felt that. Have you ever felt that when you're in a position where you have to make a decision that's going to affect not just yourself, but probably other people too. And you feel that shaking or quaking on the inside, right? Yeah. That's the best way that I could describe it, is that when the earth shakes after that strike of lightning and you hear the thunder, and you can hear it in your house, you can feel it, right? Things are rattling in your house because it's such a strong sound wave that's going through, right? All right. Hey, Lisa's saying she's from Ontario, Canada. Yay. Thanks for sharing that, Lisa. That's good to know. She says, is there a responsibility that comes with Thunderbirds if you call them in, and why would you call them in from Wisconsin? Yeah. Okay, so that's a good question, Lisa. It's a really good question. There's a huge, huge responsibility when you carry that medicine, because it chooses you. You don't choose it. It chooses you. And it chooses you at a soul level. Okay? So you're right. There's a huge responsibility that comes with it. And so, yeah. That means that you're going to be doing a lot of healing on in your physical life, right? You'll be healing your emotional and mental traumas, so that you can use more of your gifts that you came in with, and so that you can really you can be the container that holds this energy when it comes to work with us. And it's not that it stays on Earth for long periods of time, because remember, they're supernatural beings, and we can call them in. but you have to know what you're calling in and what for. In other words, you have to have a really clear intention of what you would like them to help you with, right? Yeah. So, Lisa, are you from Wisconsin? Is that what you're saying? Because I am. You might know that. I'm from Toma, up near La Crosse. So, and the Thunderbirds are, their energy comes out of the west, out of the west. And so, you think about the energy of the west on the medicine wheel, and what do you have? You have a lot of emotion. You have the water energy. It's a very feminine energy in the west. It's the setting sun, right? It's the time of life, your physical life, your maturation is like in your 40s or 50s, right? Yeah. Some people put the drum in the west, or the horse in the west, or um, yeah, it's the energy of the west. That's where the Thunderbird energy comes out of, is from the west. So you're absolutely right. It's huge energy. It's a huge responsibility. It's nothing to be cavalier about. That's for sure. Well, hello, Jocelyn. Good to have you here always. Rob says, I'll send the pic. Oh, good. That would be so much easier. Thank you, Rob. I could search for it, but it could take me a couple of days to get around to it. And Lisa says, awesome. Yes, absolutely. Yay. Good. And Rob says, I found that bird totems, power animals choose you. They will make it very clear. Yes, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right, Rob. They choose us. They choose us. And how do they choose us? They can come to you in a dream. If it's in the physical world, you'll see them all the time. Eagles, hawks, birds of prey of any kind, right? They'll find you. And it's like, God, again, they're everywhere, but they'll find you. And if they do, spend a little time with them, go into meditation, ask them to come to you to teach you. Tell me why we're together. What are we going to be doing? Yeah, with Thunderbird Clan, Thunderbird medicine, you might be doing a little stuttering, because it is big energy. It really is. All right, so here's the rest of what the author has to say about this. She says, be prepared for situations to move very quickly and to become intense. This life force energy is the spark of the universe and the surge of power that can ultimately create or destroy. Thunderbird is like the earth shaking, the phoenix rising from the ashes, and the tower crumbling. The element of fire in the Thunderbird brings change in burning the old to make room for the new. Let's get turned around. And so the Thunderbird signals an abundant flow of energy that brings you into a new cycle. Okay, keep that in the front of your mind, a new cycle. So that's where this eminent change comes from, right? Is that many of us have already experienced whatever change that was going to be here, and for you personally, right? And so many of us are also going through that transitional, that integration time, right? And there's some others that are now just preparing to go through whatever life change that they're doing. And we know that it's really about a consciousness shift. So Spirit is helping you to prepare for that shift in frequency, or that shift in vibration, right? And we know, oh my goodness, do we know this? But cosmically, the stars, the planets, the moons, they are all helping us with this. That's what we're experiencing from the solar eclipse, right? That's what we experience whenever Mercury goes retrograde. It gives us a chance to reevaluate. It gives us a chance to do all. I hear Julie Hedges in my mind here. All those RE words, she says. Right? And so we have the energy that if we're willing to tap into it, if we're willing to say yes to it and get into the flow of it, that whatever change that you requested, it could have been years ago. It could have been yesterday. It could have been this morning. That if we get into the flow of the energy that's provided to us, that change can happen very quickly. The resources can come to you very quickly. If you still need to do healing around something, you will be brought the resources for that, right? The healer will appear. The finances to pay for it, the time to get off from work or whatever you need to do to find childcare or pet care to be able to do whatever you need to get done. This is where we get that decision to be made, right? To go with the logical or to go with the heart. And you get that shaking on the inside because you're trying to decide. Here's my 2 cents on that. Is that to be grounded, to get grounded, and when you're doing that is to get centered, right? Connect to Grandmother Earth and to Grandfather Sky. And then you call to your spiritual team and you ask them, show me how to find a balance in this. I want the balance between my mental mind and my emotional heart to make my decision. So you're making your decision from your high heart, right? You're not making a decision solely out of your emotions and not solely out of your intellect, but the unity of the two of them, and to find your balance in that. That is what the Thunderbird can bring for us. It brings that shaking and that quaking to bring to shake apart what you don't need anymore, so that you can see clearly of what you can bring together to make a decision a balanced decision. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm checking the chat. All right. Rob says they will fly over you very close, sing special calls, appear synchronistically, and grab your attention. They certainly will. They grab your attention by flying at you or your car. I know. God, I was in New York one time teaching a drum making workshop and had I think it was a woodpecker, a flicker fly into my windshield. And yeah, they get your attention. Well, hello, Julie Hedges. She goes, oh, I've had change all night and even today. Yeah, it's in the air, right? It's in the air. Just stunned right now. Yeah, you should have seen me this morning when that card came up, when it jumped out of the deck, when I was All right, Jen Armstrong. Hello, Jen. She says, yes, absolutely. The shaking during major life change. And in my dreams, I was struggling to fly high. I would get caught in a power lines, etc. But now my flying has changed once again to immediate acceleration and change in flight path easily and effortlessly just by thought. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Jen. Really, because when we ask our spiritual team for assistance to please show us how to do this, because I want to live my life. I want to express my experience from my high heart. I want to live in balance between my head and my heart, right? And our team will show us. And look, Jen, you were shown through your dream, right? You can fly high without obstacles. And it can happen very, very easily. Once, what did you say? My flight has changed once again to immediate acceleration and change in flight path. That was the piece that got me. Change in the flight path, right? Yeah. She said, I morphed from a naked baby into an eagle in dreams and meditation. So you carry eagle medicine. Wow. Very good. Very good. That's another big medicine to carry. Mhm. All right. So let's see, where did I leave off? All right, here we go. It says the Thunderbird signals an abundant flow of energy that brings you into a new cycle. Be careful not to block or resist the necessary changes. Let the energy flow to ultimately create a better life that is more in tune with your spiritual gifts and your purpose. Thunderbird leads the way to finding that purpose. If we resist, however, the false ideals we have built will come crashing down. Okay. So in here, where she says that, she says, let the energy flow to ultimately create a better life that's more in tune with your spiritual gifts and soul and purpose, right? All right. So when we're in resistance to the change, when we're in resistance to the change, is when we experience a lot of emotional and mental pain, literally. It feels like your heart's breaking. It feels like your mind is never quiet. You can hardly sleep because there's so many thoughts going around and around and around, right? It's when we're in resistance. And sometimes, many times, it will also show up in your physical body as aches and pains, headaches, almost flu-like symptoms, those kinds of things. You feel wobbly. Yeah. So that's why it's important to be grounded. It's very important to be grounded so that you can discern for yourself what these symptoms are, right? What these symptoms are, so that you can tell the difference between actually being sick, to ascension symptoms, to something like this. It's in this one, when we're in resistance, that we're literally causing our own pain. Okay, let's see. Well, Rob, thank you for sharing, Rob. It's pretty long. And you look like you're sharing an experience with St. Kevin and the Blackbird. Or are you telling the story of St. Kevin? Thank you for sharing that. Oh, you must have cut and pasted it. That's it. So, what we need to do is pay attention. Pay attention to how you're feeling on the inside. What changes, what decisions are coming up for you to make, and how to bring balance in between your head and your heart, so that the decision that you make is in the highest vibration, right? It's from your high heart. Not only are you walking your truth, but you're speaking your truth too. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. Now, this author, what I like about this author in this deck of cards is that she includes a prayer with each card. And so here's the prayer for the Thunderbird clan. It says, Great Spirit, help me to embrace the changes that are necessary for me to live out my truth. I honor the incredible power of the Thunderbird energy. I will use this energy wisely to create a better life for myself and a better world for all of my relations. Okay, in other words, everything in the universe, all of my relations. And the part of this prayer that really jumped out at me is that that first sentence is to help me to embrace the changes that are necessary for me to live out my truth, to be the real you, right? The spirit that came into this physical world, to have this experience and to gain all the wisdom that you're meant to gain here, and you get to share all of that with your community. Yeah, this card, there's a lot going on in this card. A lot of energy going on in this card. So in many ways, if you're at the point of rebuilding your life, let's say the change has already occurred. Perhaps it was a divorce, or perhaps it doesn't even have to be that dramatic. Maybe you're very young and it's the first time that you're moving out on your own, right? Whether you have roommates or not, but you're no longer with your parents, right? In many respects, that's a rebuilding. That's a rebuilding. Or maybe you're changing careers or starting your own business. You've made the decision to make that change in your life. You're in the integration period, possibly even past that. And now you're rebuilding, creating the kind of life that your heart desires, that your soul desires. That's the expression of your soul, right? Yeah. So Rob is saying the thunderbird is also known as the turkey vulture. This is a powerful medicine, but very much associated with death and rebirth. Yeah, it's also the turkey vulture is also associated with the goddess energy. Yeah. So, and do you know the reason why they associate the thunderbird with the turkey vulture? Do you know that? All right. Here's a little trivia. Is that turkey vultures, they sleep up in like high trees, like, really tall pine trees, right? And so when the dew gets on their feathers in the morning, in order to take flight, okay, is that they're drying their feathers. And so they literally stand with their wings kind of in a 90-degree, almost, not quite, downward. Their tips are facing down. So they're like this. And so when you look at them, it looks like a thunderbird, the shape of it. Okay. And so that's how they got associated with the thunderbird energy, and that's why they're called thunderbirds. Mm-hmm. And they migrate out of the west. They come from the west, east, and in the fall, for those that migrate, they go back over the Mississippi, over to the west. Yeah, so they carry that western energy too. But you didn't know you're going to find out so much about Thunderbird, huh? Julie says, thank you for the card today. Thank the spirits, my spiritual team. Holy smokes. That was pretty big. Anya? Oh, I know I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm so sorry. Beautiful blessing. Wasn't it though? It's one of my, that prayer is really, really good. I liked it a lot. Hi, Kristen. Hello, Kristen Lynn. It's good to have you here. Rob says, that I don't. Yeah, now you do. Now you do. Lisa says, turkey vultures, Jesus bird, harms none and cleans up the mess. Yeah, exactly. And they're actually very big birds. Very big. All right, so here's another tidbit. If you are a space clearer, if you are a healer, using turkey vulture feathers are very big energy to do clearings with, for that very reason that Lisa mentioned. Harms nothing and cleans up the mess. Yeah. But make sure you're grounded before you pick up that feather to use it, because you're using their medicine. And make sure that you get the yes, we will work with you. We will help you with this clearing or this healing before you begin, because it's a lot of energy to hold. Okay, I'm looking at the time, and we got a couple more cards to do. And these are cards that we've had before, the second and third card that came. In fact, we just had this guy yesterday. Growth, Spirit Path of the South. It's about opportunity, acceptance, and gateway. It's the 35th stone in the placement in the creation of the medicine wheel. It's an 8 in numerology. It's about the balance of giving and receiving. And this is about standing at the gateway to a new cycle within your life. You are frozen by the fear of what lies ahead. Recognizing in the past you have dealt with some of your fears and began the process of recognizing your own self-worth. Now is a great opportunity for a beginning awaits you. Bring unity back into your life so you can move beyond your fears and focus on your future goals. So here we go again, right? Facing those fears and bringing unity. And when you think about that decision, right, going right or going left, and feeling the quaking on the inside. And once you turn to spirit, to your spiritual team, your helpers, your guides, your angels, to help you, to show you how you can bring your intellect and your emotions together in balance to the high heart, so that you can make a decision that's in a higher vibration, that's the true expression of your soul. Okay? And so the second card is really about doing that. And doesn't horse represent freedom? Right? So are you going to accept the opportunity that's coming, that Thunderbird is bringing? Because you're standing at the precipice. You're standing at the doorway of this gateway. Yeah, and we have this opportunity because we're being so supported by the universe with the solar eclipse, and now the Mercury retrograde, and the full moon, right? It's coming. There's so much support there for us that if we make the decision to get into the flow and to remember how to bring ourselves, our intellect and our heart together, to create the life, to create whatever change that is, to express our soul, right? Not to resist it, not to suppress it, not to push it away, ignore it, but turn your attention to it and remember how to bring unity back into your life between your head and your heart. It says, remember, wisdom and all its power always leads us to further enlightenment. And here's the prayer for this one. It says, Great Spirit, I open my heart to the teachings that are all around me, and I am thankful for the wisdom I receive. I am aware there's a spiritual law governed by I'm sorry, read the wrong one. Still a good one. Sorry, I turned the page and didn't know it. Here's the prayer for it. Delete what I just said. All right, so here's the prayer for this one. As I stand at the gateway to a new phase of my life, please help me, Creator, to recognize and nurture my talents, to move beyond any ego attachments to the place of solitude that comes from accepting my own true worth. To accept my own true worth, to recognize and nurture my talents. Those are the spiritual gifts that you came in with, right? Yeah. All right, we have just one more. And for those who've been watching and with me for weeks on end now, for over a year, look who came up in the third one. Turtle Clan. This was our first card yesterday. It's number 5 in the layout. 5 is all about transformation, change. And Turtle Clan is all about grounding, being steady progress and solidity. And Spirit has brought this card to us over and over and over again. And truly, we have to remember to be grounded. Doing your grounding twice a day, or checking in with yourself at least and saying, am I grounded? Do I feel grounded? And if you don't feel grounded, is to do your grounding again, right? But this is also about that steady progress. It may seem slow in some cases, but you're going for completeness. And here's this to consider, is that with the Thunderbird energy, change can come very quickly, right? Can come very quickly. And if it comes quickly, it's going to come so much more gracefully when you're grounded. And so that when you're going through your integration time, you've learned your life lesson, you've gone through the change, whatever that is, you have to integrate all of that and ground it to the earth plane. In other words, you'll be using your wisdom in your everyday life as it's expressed through your gifts that you came in with. That's your soul expression, right? Yeah. Okay. This is a good reading. These cards are really good. All right. Okay, here we go. Now, for those that are new to the show, what I do is I hold up all the cards all at one time so that you can see them, right? All at once. What we've learned is that when you take a deep breath in, and when you're exhaling, what you're doing is you're calling into your spiritual team, to your angels, to your guides, your whole team, bring them to you, and ask them to help you to take in as much of the information that's coming from the cards, both the seen and unseen, right? So that you can utilize the information coming from them. Whatever resonates with you, right? Okay, so here we go. Nice deep breath in. Exhaling, calling to your spiritual team. Okay, here we go. So we started with very big energy, very, very big spirit coming in with the Thunder Clan. Shaking it up. Right? Imminent change. And we followed it up with the second card with growth. And are we going to accept the opportunities that are going to come with this change? And really, most of this is all about how your soul is going to be expressed. In other words, your soul purpose. How do you use your gifts? And the decisions that you're making to make this change, your gifts could come and to be used every day and have more access to them. And with the Turtle Clan, it's about remembering to be grounded, because this change is going to come quick, and it can be done very gracefully when you're grounded and you're centered, connected to Grandmother Earth, drawing on her love for us to help you through that. And once you're through it and you're into the integration time, steady progress. Don't rush it. Don't rush the integration. Allow the divine timing to lead you through that, so that you're fully integrated with the new change, with your new life, right? Yeah. This is a big one. Big reading. Lisa's saying spot on. Yeah. Jan says, wow, I see the cards expressing the global situation right now. Be interesting to see what the next card would be. Well, I didn't bring the cards with me. And they're down at the house. Hang on. All right, we got Lisa is saying, what a great show. I'm outside gardening and here with me now. Oh, that's nice. Extra special. Yeah, it is. Connecting with Grandmother Earth at the same time. Okay. So, here. I'm going to grab something. Just a second. Remember I told you it was really busy this morning at my house when I was packing things up to come up to the Star Nations Academy, which is where I'm broadcasting from. This is just west of my house by a country block. I got the deck of cards. I threw them in my bag. So I was thinking, this is what I tell everybody at the end of the show, is that whatever resonated with you, whatever felt good to you, is to embrace it, right? Embrace it. Whether it was a word or a phrase or the whole thing, whatever it was that resonated with you, is to bring it close and then watch and see how the day's energy unfolds for you and where this information could be helpful. And if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all right. No worries. Doesn't matter. There's tomorrow's cards for you. And perhaps you're the messenger. Maybe you can send the recorded show to a friend, right? Share it with them. Maybe they're looking for this kind of information, or perhaps even this kind of spiritual community. And then you're done, right? All right. So, Servieto Hernandez says, how can I get a reading? Well, actually, I don't do personal cards draws on this show. We do have 3 shows here at Star Nations that the show hosts do personal card draws, and I think Stephanie, did you? She probably did. She's our social media manager. Put that information in the comments. So the next show that's coming up, where there would be a personal card draw, a single card, is Polly Jo LeBay, Soul Connections, which is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's tomorrow. So if you want a mini reading, and before that, she does a healing meditation. So if you're interested in that, come for that and then get a reading. All right. And Jan is saying, everything being exposed, the tower, the facade is falling, the freedom, first time for growth and truth and who we are, Tarot Clan. Yeah, I think so too. All right. So, Jen, this is for you. We'll see what the next card is, okay? I know, I'm usually done by this time. But we'll see. All right. What the next card's going to be. Okay, listening to my team. There it is. And flew across the room. It flew across the room. Now, see, we've had this card before too. This is introspection. Spirit faith of the West. New perspective, retreat, and unity. It's a 3. It's a 12, and then it's a 3 card, right? It's a new perspective. That's what comes with change, right? You see things differently. You experience things differently. And sometimes in order to really understand, and this could be also about the integration piece, the retreat, because sometimes we have to go within to really understand what that change was about, to understand what the wisdom that we gained by all of that, right? And look at that, unity. How many times? Every single card practically talked about unity. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So Nellie is saying, thank you, Nishi. Couldn't watch the whole show. Oh, I know. Don't worry. It's okay. There's always the replay if you need to do that. And so Jen is saying, awesome. All right. Thank you all for being with me today. I appreciate it. And I hope that whatever resonated with you is going to be helpful to you. Okay. So join me tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for the next Spiritual Roundtable. We'll see what Spirit has to say for us tomorrow. This show is from Sunday to Thursday, and so we'll see what Spirit has to say for us tomorrow. Okay, all right. And by the way, if you're available, please join me tonight for my weekly evening show called Communications from Home. Tonight's show is all about are you too little or not enough? Yeah, it's about being too much for some people and not enough for others, right? And how we feel about that. And has anybody ever told you that? Oh, you're too sensitive, or you live your life in your brain. You're a brainiac or a nerd or something like that, right? You're not connected to your emotions. You're kind of like Spock. And so there's that middle ground, and we kind of touched on it today about living from your high heart. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And hopefully you can join me. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. Okay, with that, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And we'll see you back here tomorrow. Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi 4, until we see each other again. Love you guys.